What is the Nephilim? The Nephilim in Hebrew means the fallen ones. They are the people created by the crossbreeding of the sons of God and the daughters of men. The word Nephilim is loosely translated as giants or titans, and in some Bibles it is left untranslated. This is the reason why we don't understand what the Bible's about. The King James translators translated in the closest they could translate it, which was giants. Most of the movies have the same thing because we're being conditioned for which was to become back. Paradigm shift. That's why you're getting prepared for aliens and all this stuff. Don't think all this superhero stuff, because the Nephilim were called heroes. They were called the men of renown, the men of old. This is where all the Greek gods came from. The Greek gods were not just mythical people. They were people of the Nephilim, the giants. That's where Goliath comes from, the offspring of the fallen angels.
A lot of Spielberg's material has these kind of underlying themes that we're going to look at in this movie. I saw this when it came out in the theaters in 1977 when I was a little kid with my father, and it really made an impact on me. And of course, back then I didn't realize what it was really about. Close Encounters of the Satanic Kind. And we'll see that this film, along with a lot of these space movies, alien contact kind of movies, they're really about the satanic religion and the Antichrist, the rise of the Antichrist, the fallen angels, these kind of things. Of course, on a flat earth, there are no such thing as aliens from another planet anyway. It goes back to this, it's like a religion. So I'm going to show you how this film, it's obvious actually. It's just very obvious, a lot of Illuminati symbolism. It just really plays out the whole religion of the Luciferian belief system. We know, the alien deception is coming soon, folks. Okay, I mean, the writing's on the wall. Every day in the news are getting us ready for the aliens to appear, and they're just making up planets out there and just inventing all kinds of stuff. NASA is like a reality show it's really fiction, though. They present it like it's reality. It's just fiction. Something's coming soon, man. I think I got this feeling, but also just looking at the news flow, they're getting us ready for the what do they call that? The disclosure or arrival. Some new movie coming out. So it could be coming soon. The Great Deception. They're going to tell us these things are aliens and that they're part of us. We're part of them. We're related. They created us. They're our new gods. Whatever, and we're going to see all this in this film. So it starts out with this scene where they find World War II aircraft that's been missing for 40 years or something, I guess 30 years at that point. That made me think of the Malaysian airliner that went missing about, 2 3 years ago. Maybe that's what that's all about. It's going to come back. And here we have that little boy, and pay attention to this kid. Take a look at this kid for a minute, and you're going to see that he looks just like the aliens at the end of the movie. And of course, this kid gets abducted. And so that's kind of part of the whole genetic tampering. For some reason, these fallen angels need humans to, they're not native to this realm, this expanse that we live in here. So they must need our body or even our blood. Maybe that's what that symbolizes. They take this kid away and they basically take his DNA and experiment on him. Who knows what they do? Drink his blood? There's all kinds of symbolic implications with the taking of a little child. And then you'll see at the end of the movie the aliens resemble this kid a lot, and they make it very obvious that there's a connection there. And this is where the main character gets possessed by demonic entities, fallen angels, essentially. And here we have a religion. Okay, it's the satanic religion. And of course, the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. It's Tower of Babel, but it's Satan trying to set up his own kingdom. And that's what this movie's about. Satan's kingdom. He says, this is important. This means something. He doesn't know what it is yet. Here you got the government going to set up a false flag operation, right? And you notice he says every Christian soul. They could have said any word they want. They could have just said people. Everything Spielberg does in a movie, of course, very deliberately planned out in advance. There's a reason they said every Christian soul. they want to get rid of the Christians. They want to kill the Christians. And this all takes place, remember, at Devil's Tower. I mean, how much more obvious could they be? Devil's Tower. Of all the places they picked for this story, they picked Devil's Tower, and they're getting rid of all the Christians. And they even make the mashed potatoes into a pyramid. Lots of pyramids all over this movie, man. Devil's Tower is representing the pyramid. I don't think it has anything to do with Devil's Tower. I went there when I was a kid. The aliens are fake. They're fallen angels. They may be real fallen angels and Nephilim hybrids. Who knows what kind of creatures they're going to show us. They're going to tell us a story. We're going to see it on the evening news. It's going to freak us out. It'll make 9/11 look like Captain Kangaroo. The Great Disclosure will be televised. The Great Deception. It's like the Holy Grail. They're just in awe. It's just like, wow, amazing. There it is right there. There's the big Satan dude. The capstone. Look at that, right on top of the pyramid. On top, as above, so below. There's like probably some kind of Satan-type Nephilim creature, the head honcho. They're kind of spooked by that thing. That thing's not human. See, that's not human. They can't interact with that thing. But now he's like, hey, I'm your God. Jesus Christ pose. There it is, Jesus Christ pose, mocking. And look at this little boy, alien face. Look at these kids. They look just like the boy. And you got the mother taking photographs of all her children. She knows those are all related to her. And then we're going to see the one world religion, the Catholic Church. Gotthard Tunnel. We just saw this in real life, folks, like a few months ago in Switzerland. Look at the footage of the Gotthard Tunnel, and you're looking at the footage of this movie right now. This is Gotthard Tunnel. Satanic worship service, ritual. That's what this movie's all about. This is a satanic ritual right now at the end of this movie. Under Satan's phallus, Devil's Tower, the pyramid. Look at all these goons. They got their national, the flag and the uniforms. These are Gotthard Tunnel goon squad people. I don't know what you even call them. Now they're saying, hey, join us in Satan's kingdom. Get the mark of the beast. This is the mark of the beast. They're giving him the mark of the beast. The Nephilim hybrids are changing his DNA. And he's doing the Jesus Christ pose also, a mocking, saying, and that really means in the satanic world, hey, we have salvation without all that stuff, without God, without Jesus. Now he's entered Satan's kingdom. He walked into the spaceship, entered Satan's kingdom. Satanic religion right there, 101. Steven Spielberg knows what's going on. He's got a lot of movies about this kind of stuff. Jurassic Park is about Nephilim hybrids. E.T., it's basically the same kind of story. Their savior is going to come from outer space. And all we got to do is befriend these fallen angels and everything's going to be okay. So they're creating human-animal hybrids as we speak. All the stuff that they were doing pre-flood. And then after that as well. It's happening now. Just read the news, man. It's happening. They're getting this ready for the Great Deception. It's going to become an hour. 1 hour of time. They're going to do what we just saw in that movie. You had the Gotthard Tunnel this year. You got all these new planets and new, they're basically telling us they're about to announce something soon because they've set the stage for that kind of stuff. All right, they're getting the world ready for a new type of human, for something androgynous. There's all these tranny celebrities and politicians and athletes, and now you got the NFL players, turning against the American flag and all that stuff. So that means the UN New World Order is coming soon. Just don't get deceived. Try to find out what's real, what's fake. Everything on TV is fake. That's pretty simple, really. Everything in mass media is fake. It's a lie. There's an agenda.
Let me tell you why I came to the decision that we may have been lied to. Maybe I just didn't buy this fairy dust sprouting model. No stars backdrop and magic camera panning up by remote control. Maybe I just couldn't believe this build quality of this piece of junk could withstand the -10 torr vacuum, let alone make it all the way to the command module. Or there's the spacesuit. I realised it just couldn't withstand the vacuum and that it would do this. I learned the power of a vacuum. I learned that landlines couldn't call all the way to space. And then I caught them dropping things like gravity existed on the ISS. I watched them use VR for fun. I watched them use VR with glitches. I even watched them forget to turn on the VR. I caught them coming into shot on harnesses and fading into shot slowly. I even caught them hiding in the background. I saw them floating in pools. I saw underwater bubbles floating up from where they were. Helmets moving when they shouldn't be. Sad and guilty looks when they should have been over the moon. I saw shadows coming from 3 different light sources when the sun should have given us 1. They lost the tech and the tapes.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
And they give us CGI images, not real photos. They even got lazy with copy and paste in the clouds. We saw launches that never went straight up. Never a continuous video stream, always cut to CGI. And when I noticed all the landing sites faced us on the one face of the moon, then how was it the Earthrise shot we got with this sideway view is possible? Then there's the Van Allen belts.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. For this flight, it's time to head home.
I even laughed at some of the women's ridiculous hairspray instead of zero-G. And we've never had the press, the US government or the Department of Defense lie at all, have we? Think of the millions of us who have now woken up to the lie. And maybe we just don't believe what we've been told anymore. I'll leave it to you to make up your own mind, do your own research. And I'll leave you with some lovely sparkles.
Mission arm is in. Okay, I'm going to get the pro. 99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector good. Mag start. Get the order. Okay, yes, that's right.
My new national strategy for space recognizes that space is a warfighting domain, just like the land, air, and sea. We may even have a space force, develop another one, Space Force. We have the Air Force, we'll have the Space Force. Jay, this is right.